Good morning. It's a Friday, February 24, 2023, and I hope you are all doing well. It's a holiday, a belated announcement, but a holiday nonetheless para sa inyong mga hindi tiga-media. Kami, bawal ang holiday sa amin because our job is to serve you every day of the year. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, and this is the program agenda that airs on Cignal TV, Channel 1 News, okay? Channel 8 and 250 on 1 News. And of course, thank you to our Cignal TV subscribers and to those of you who watch us via YouTube and of course on Facebook. Maraming salamat. I have to apologize for the past few days that we've had technical glitches because we are trying to remedy the untimely demise of my computer that waited 1 year and 1 week to die. Okay, so grabe, no? Talagang ang mga gamit ngayon wala nang long-term relationship status, complicated. Anyway, let's get on with our daily starter. And it is an ode to actor and former California Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he said, the body and the accent they attacked became the asset. Arnold Schwarzenegger at one time made a speech or gave a talk and gave a speech where he said when he was starting out in life, wanting to become an actor, wanted to become Mr. Universe. Everybody made comments, nasty comments, made fun of his German German accent, etc., and his looks. And then one day, there was a role for Conan the Barbarian. And since then, Arnold Schwarzenegger has made hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars from the very thing that his critics said were going to work against him. So whatever God has given you, be thankful. Okay, it may not be an easy beginning, but if you are faithful, I am sure that your blessings will come down upon you like rain from heaven. Okay, let's now go to the front page of the Philippine Star. And the headline goes, BBM declares People Power holiday today. Okay, unexpectedly and a bit of a surprise, Malacanang belatedly announced that today is a holiday, but people are still thankful that President Bongbong Marcos gave recognition to this day as a day in history. And it is a step, some say, towards making peace with our past. Okay, let us take things for what they are and be thankful. If for anything, magpasalamat kayo, may holiday kayo today. Okay, may bayad pa. Anyway, top of the front page, United States, attack on Philippine Coast Guard ship may trigger mutual defense treaty. U.S. defense officials have been consistently and constantly saying that any attack on any Philippine military facility or ship will trigger the mutual defense treaty. Parang reassurance lang nila yan. Meanwhile, Secretary of Justice Crispin Boying Remulla said that there were no arguments over ICC probe on drug war. Nagtagpo, he met with the representatives of the EU and the ICC recently, and instead of having a heated debate, they had a discussion, but everybody walked away civilly. Okay, now, the big photo, as I already made obvious, the big photo at the top of the front page is a photo of the statue on EDSA, the People Power Monument. while many say only a few promises of the 1986 revolt were fulfilled, 6 in 10 Filipinos believe its spirit remains alive more than 3 decades after the ouster of Ferdinand Marcos Sr. Okay. Meanwhile, for those of you na sawang-sawa na, gusto lang paghiwalayin ang kulor, dekolor sa puti, House panel approves divorce bills in principle. In principle lang. Okay, so a panel of the House of Representatives expressed openness to a bill that may finally pave the way for divorce after it approved in principle the measure providing for dissolution of marriage. Okay, we will suggest that you go buy your copy of the Philippine Star to get further details kasi mahirap pong basahin yung buong storya. Baka mamaya biglang mag-file kayo ng divorce dyan. BBM strategic ties with Japan stronger than ever. President Bongbong Marcos reiterated that strategic partnership with Japan is stronger than ever as he wished abundant blessings for Japanese Emperor Naruhito on his birthday. Yun po. Okay. Meanwhile, a lawmaker backs foreign media ownership under the Chacha. Deputy Speaker Aurelio Gonzalez Jr. of Pampanga is giving support to foreign ownership of media entities or companies provided they provided foreign investment in mass media as long as management is left exclusively to Filipinos. In other words, you can own the company, but it will still be Filipinos running it. Anyway, okay, sorry, I just couldn't help but be tickled by that. Anyway, photo below that story, we have Ayala Land Inc. and Vermosa Estate have committed a 2-year sponsorship to support Olympian pole vaulter E.J. Obiena's training. At the signing held on February 23, you have Ayala Land Inc. Chairman Jaime Augusto Zobel de Ayala, Obiena, and ALI President and CEO Bernard Vincent D. Shaking hands on the agreement. At least ayan po, no? Sila ay sumusuporta sa ating atleta. President Marcos, speaking of support, vows to support arts and culture as he honored 33 Filipino artists who won the highest international awards over the past year. Okay, so you can be sure that the government and this administration are with you in promoting arts and culture. Okay, last piece of news. You have that small window at the bottom of the Philippine Star. 4 bodies found at Cessna crash site near the crater of Mayon volcano, and a 500,000 peso reward has been put up for the arrest of this riding in tandem hold-upper shooter who killed a New Zealander tourist I think it happened in Makati or somewhere. Yeah, in Makati City last Sunday. Ang nangyari po, agaw cellphone, pumalag, the New Zealander defended his Filipina girlfriend, and the hold-upper shot the guy, the tourist. Okay, so ayan po, according to my sources at the DILG, they will get the guy sometime today or tomorrow, I hope. Okay, so that's about all we have on the front page of the Philippine Star. Let's now go to our very interesting topic. I assure you, from very two intelligent, well-informed experts regarding yung mga nag-endorse ba. Okay? There has been a bit of a tawag dito, medyo controversy where a well-known TV personality got dragged into this situation kasi nag-endorse ng products. Okay? There are people who endorse products, and then what happens is the products turn out to be bad, or the company turns out to be untrustworthy, etc. So now, this has become an issue. Ito bang mga endorsers and endorsements, ito ba, how do we know who to trust? How should endorsers conduct themselves? So, Gabriel, please roll out the Betamax on our two beautiful ladies this morning.
Attorney Lorna Kapunan's extensive legal expertise includes licensing, international humanitarian, entertainment, and family law. Because of this, Kapunan has lawyered for many celebrity clients. A product of UP College of Law, Attorney Kapunan is also an advocate for women's and children's rights. Amor Maclang is an award-winning reputation and brand architect. She is co-founder of the firm Geyser Maclang Marketing Communications. Maclang is also the convener of Digital Pilipinas, a private sector-led movement that pushes for broadened digital economy.
Okay, good morning, beautiful ladies of my life. Welcome to the program agenda.
Good morning, Cito.
Kita mo naman.
You love us. You love me, Cito. I haven't seen you in months. But good morning. I'm so happy to see you.
You know, flattery is a shield. I have to praise my Tita Lorna because I dragged her out of bed on a holiday and on a Friday. And I have turned down your invitation for lunches twice. So because of my
birthday pa, ha?
my schedule. So, but anyway, thank you really for joining us because I am optimistic. I am confident we are going to be able to address a very serious topic regarding product endorsers, endorsements, and the controversies that come with them. I'd like to ask each of you, beginning with Attorney Kapunan. Attorney, Tita Lorna, your family, I'm going to be very transparent about this. Lorna Kapunan has been my Tita Lorna all my life. But I'm calling you Attorney Kapunan because I just read an article that pointed out that people tend to personalize, quote, or be more personal with women and not talk about titles and achievements of women. So I realized that, and so now I address you as Attorney Kapunan. Attorney, okay, going to this topic, what are your thoughts on this series of events where endorsers are now being called to task? Political endorsers, product endorsers, etc.
Well, first of all, good morning to my co-guest here. Amor, I'm happy to see that there is another. So this is 2 versus 1 here. and good morning to all of you. Well, first of all, when we talk about endorsement, let me put on my lawyer's hat. Let me be Attorney Lorna, because I also handle media clients. And sometimes I'm also a victim of media. When we talk about endorsement, that's almost tantamount to a seal of approval. It means approval. And therefore, legally, there is an obligation of transparency. What do I mean by that obligation? A person who endorses, and you can endorse a product, a company, a service, a person who endorses must be transparent about whether it is a paid endorsement or whether it is an unsolicited endorsement. No? Because endorsement is, as Amor will tell you, is a form of advertising. So kailangan ng transparency. legally you should put, if it's a video or if it's a post, you should put this is a paid advertisement, so that the public, there is what is called caveat emptor, the public beware, because this is a paid advertisement. The most, Cito, the most effective form of endorsement is an unpaid endorsement. It's like me. I read a nice book and I'm so happy with the book that I read. I write about it and say, read this book. So the best endorsements are from product users themselves, unsolicited, unpaid. So you know that it is truthful. Most endorsements must come from people who are either celebrities or personalities that the public trusts, because sasabihin ng public, siguro maganda tong produkto na to, o siguro ayos itong travel agent na to, o siguro because the person endorsing is trustworthy, and therefore there comes a legal obligation to be true to that trust, no? Be true to your power of influencing. Kasi maraming these days, no, hindi na tawag doon endorsements, no? Nung panahon ko siguro endorsement. Ngayon, influencers ang tawag dyan ngayon, and the target is social media audiences, because it's very fast, no? Wala na yung print, it's now social media, which is a field that are more digital, no? So in short, endorsement is a seal of approval, and therefore an endorser has a legal obligation to be, number one, transparent, and number two, to be accurate and fair, especially if it is a product that has to do with safety concerns. Kunyari, mag-i-endorse ka ng gamot. Teka, no? Nakakamatay ba yung gamot na yan? May FDA approval ba yan? No? Or makeup. Nakaka-allergic ba yan ng skin or etc. No? That's why not only are companies looking for persons as endorsers, they're looking for groups or associations. For instance, if you are in the toothpaste business, ang kukunin mo hindi endorser na tao, ang kukunin mo company or association, like maybe an endorsement from the Philippine Dental Association.
Yeah, so
that was good, ganon.
Yeah. So it comes with legal obligation. We'll tackle that in detail, but I'd like to hear Amor, you're the PR expert here, you're the PR pro, and you have celebrity clients also. What's your reaction? Because this thing about this controversy about endorsers, endorsements, and influencers, as Attorney Kapunan has pointed out, has started to catch fire, and it has started to burn even the endorsers and their followers.
Good morning, Attorney Kapunan. Magandang umaga, Cito. So, and also I have to correct, aside from having celebrity clients, most of the time who actually brings us into the discussion are actually the corporate clients. So when I studied this, so last night when I got it, I studied it thoroughly, and there are two potential schools of thought. So una, the celebrity in question, I know he's a celebrity, but does he come in as just a celebrity? Right? Because there's also the opinion, kasi nung inaral ko yan, nakalagay dyan, he was presented as the chairman of the board. So, in fairness, lahat ng nalalaman ko, nakabase lamang sa nabasa ko po sa dyaryo, because the personality of a board director, ergo chairman of the board, and the personality of an endorser, it carries with it two separate and distinct responsibilities. No? So, yun yung una natin kailangang aralin. Pangalawa, quick history on endorsements, right? Nabanggit yan ni Attorney Kapunan, but also at the same time, meron na kasing evolution of endorsements wherein you just don't slap your face on a brand, but rather personalities are made to come on board as part of a company to either be a co-creator of the brand. They own the brand, like in the case of Kim Kardashian, right? Yung Skims, ang dami niyang businesses. Hindi lamang siya endorser, but also at the same time, may pag-aari siya ng brand. And just this morning in Forbes, lumabas, even a John Legend, tingnan mo ha, singer, meron na siyang skin line. Yan na ang trend ngayon, right? So, ngayon, naguguluhan na ang publiko natin. They need all the clarification and the transparency, sabi nga po ng aking idol na si Attorney Kapunan, that they can get because you need full disclosure at the onset. Ikaw ba ay binayaran lamang para mag-endorso? Ikaw ba ay ay owner? Ikaw ba ay co-creator ng brand? I think transparency is key here, right? So that would be
that's interesting, Amor and Attorney Kapunan, because I remember a situation before pandemic where I actually spoke to someone who I have he's in the same community, a spiritual community that I move around. And I asked my friend, I said, pare, bakit ka nag-endorse ng product na yan? Wala ka namang farm, hindi ka naman nag-aalaga ng panabong, etc. or baboy, etc. And my friend said, well, actually, they just came to me and I said, you better think about that twice because it comes with responsibility. So, Attorney Kapunan, talking about transparency, is there a law? Is there a industry rule na we cannot get endorsers who do not eat the product, do not wear the product, do not use the product? Ano ba talaga ang rule dyan? I'll start with you, Attorney Kapunan.
Well, first of all, the obligation of transparency is required by law. No? I'm sure Amor will tell you about the Truth in Advertising Act. No? And that is why it is always important that advertisers, companies, corporate clients will have to say this is a paid advertisement. No? Now, on the part of the personality endorser, the person endorsing, or the association endorsing, in fact, ang endorsement hindi na about celebrities, no? There could be right now there are NGOs that endorse, no? A cause because it's the best form of getting it out to the public. Advertisement nga yan eh. So NGOs endorse a cause and that could be a paid cause by some international organization, etc. So we must, to me, if you are to be believable or credible to your targeted audience, partner, gamitin mo naman yung product, no? Because they are relying, the unsuspecting public do not have time to test the product. So they are riding on your word, your integrity as a person. Are you a person that's trustworthy? And the reverse is also true. Pag nagkamali ka at kumuha ka ng endorser na hindi naman magaling ang public image, hindi naman maganda. That is a judgment, the very big judgment call of a company or a product creator in the choosing of endorsers. No? Since Amor mentioned, one sec lang, since Amor mentioned si Luis Manzano, no? And I know it's now pending in the NBI, no? Sometimes endorsers can also be victims, and that is the claim of Lucky, no, Manzano, because he himself, I'm sure in the scheme of things, incidentally, when they refer to this large-scale staffa, the scheme is actually a co-ownership deal. They were inveigled into investing in a company called Flex Fuel.
Yeah. The
purpose of which is to put up stations. No?
Yeah.
Pero yung investment nila, it's not really investment. You're buying into kasi co-ownership deal. magiging shareholder ka ng company, but guaranteed dividends. Now, that by itself should already be a warning na kumpanya nag-guarantee ng dividends. Hindi ba ang dividends is based on revenues or profit? So that should already be a red flag. Ang problema sito, because it was lucky, and if you look at the profile of the victims, hindi naman businessman yan eh. Yung 50 na yan, the 50 who filed cases in the NBI, were most 30 of them were OFWs. Alam mo naman ang mga OFWs, no, nanonood ng Filipino channel. Makikita nila si Luis Manzano. Aba, sabi nila, okay to. He himself, incidentally, invested. That's why it added credibility. Luis Manzano himself invested, according to the news, 66 million. Which now he is claiming, biktima rin ako, I resigned in the company when I realized that there was no full disclosure of important and material facts by the mother company. So nag-resign siya as chair noong February 2022.
Yeah, well, I thank you for giving highlighting those aspects, because I really didn't want to talk about Luis Manzano's case, honestly, okay? I wanted to tackle endorsers. Now, Amor, regarding what Attorney Kapunan has just pointed out, there is the Advertising Act, there is the philosophy of truth in advertising, etc. Because here's the deal. Aside from Lucky, someone called me the other day, 2 days ago, at 7 in the morning and said, Cito, can I do a quick consult because I need crisis management advice? And same story. Guy is approached by a company and said, you're a well-known celebrity. We have an array of products para raw sabi yung Amazon ba yun, Amor, no? We have so many products. Pick and choose which products you want to carry, put your name to it, and we will sell it, and we will share the proceeds with you. And then a few days later, he got a barrage of messages on social media telling him it's a scam, you're being taken for a ride, and your followers are now getting gypped and putting out money. So sabi ko, teka, hindi to isolated case. This is beginning to become a trend, little by little. So, Amor, why come to me? I told the guy, go to your lawyer, dum-dum. First person to go to in a crisis is your lawyer.
Because you are an influencer in that field, no? And no, Cito, two things, no? Sabi nga ni Spider-Man ba yun? With great I will rephrase it. With great popularity comes great, not just money, but great responsibility. Yeah. And in the United States, for example, there are established laws that require celebrity endorsers to actually declare their stakes in a company. Dito, hindi pa yan as well pronounced. It's more of a suggestion and a guideline rather than an actual rule or to be followed. And I think kailangan in the spirit of social, lalo na ngayon, no, wala ka nang maitatago in light of social media. It's important that you declare at the onset. Now, what you actually said is even more important, which is, I think, an even bigger issue. You're absolutely right. We're actually managing a situation right now that has kind of the same undertones, meaning investment opportunities abound. People, regular people, not businessmen, according as Attorney Kapunan said, are looking for opportunities to make more money. Ang ibig ngayon sabihin nun, malakas ang liquidity sa merkado, maraming may pera, maraming gusto mag-invest, but they do not find appropriate, legal, registered channels to do so. So, ngayon, kaya nagkakaroon ng issue. So, kailangan tingnan din natin doon. No? So, yung in the case, final point in the case of endorsers, right? Iba na nga eh. Iba na ang changing face of brand ownership or ambassadorship. I think it's high time we start requiring our ambassadors whenever they declare to disclose with transparency at the onset. Ano ang financial stake mo dito? Ikaw ba ay shareholder? Ikaw ba ay chairman? Ikaw ba ay endorser? Because we will hold them accountable depending on what they disclose. We can't just conveniently say at the onset, I am an owner, and then next time afterwards, I am just an endorser. Yun lang po.
Okay, Attorney Kapunan, what should be the hard and fast rules regarding this? Because I told that friend of mine, go see your lawyer, and then after your lawyer has set the boundaries, then you can see me regarding strategies.
Well, first of all, in a situation like that, pag crisis management na, may crisis na yan, ano? And in your situation, I think you got a sense na hindi lang siya ang kinausap. No, so ang problema kasi because society mabilis na yun eh.
Mhm.
Hindi na nagbabasa ang tao. We are spoiled. Gusto natin social media. Na-digest na para sa atin yan. Ano? Hindi na tayo, we're no longer using our brains because the news is digested for us. No?
Yeah.
Kung anong gusto mong, what I'm saying is everything now is like hotcake. It's there for you. You either get it or not get it. And therefore, sabi nga na Amor, there is a heavier responsibility these days of disclosure. Of disclosure because you must assume that your audience does not have that very same opportunity or time to validate your claims. And therefore, trustworthy, naniniwala na sila sa endorser. No? And it's not only product these days. No? We are a very opinionated country. So let's be very careful about listening, about believing opinions of famous personalities. Because an opinion is the name of the beast, no? That's the nature of the beast. An opinion is an opinion. Dapat discerning tayo. Huwag tayong maniwala na, for instance, there's so much, just an example, there's so much misinformation about the SOGI bill, no? Yung bill pending sa Senado, yung sexual orientation and gender identity, no?
Mhm.
So, very divided ang Senate. There is the church view, and there's the advocates view, no? Ang church view is kasalanan yan because it advocates same-sex marriage. Nung binasa ko yung, and you will believe it because it came from a senator who is a Christian senator, no? So, believe, nakakatakot yan, same-sex marriage. Pero pagbasahin mo yung yung proposed bill, wala namang same-sex marriage yun. But now, there is a formed public opinion na it is not good. Kasalanan yan sa Diyos.
Because a person with the title of senator said so, then people tend to believe it. Okay, let's go for a quick break. When we return, it's going to be free for all. I'm going to see where we will end up on this one because I think people really want to know because marami talaga nag-i-invest and then nasusunog. But whatever happened to buyer beware, and also who is the more guilty party here, or is it equal all have sinned clause, meaning endorser and company will both be guilty if something goes wrong? We'll go for a quick break. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, welcome back to the program agenda. We are having a very animated but very instructional conversation regarding endorsers, endorsements, and what do PR practitioners and lawyers have to say. So with us is attorney Lorna Kapunan and Amor Maclang of Geyser Maclang. Now, Amor, I'd like to start up with you regarding we've already discussed some of the issues, but what should companies do? What should companies know? And what should endorsers keep in mind when getting into these arrangements? Because, I mean, I did run an agency before in my youth, and there were very clear rules of engagement. You went to a talent manager, you went to legal department, you spoke with management, you went through an entire process before you actually even got someone. In fact, there were several candidates. Kumbaga, the agency picks and chooses, and it's still filtered. But nowadays, parang no filters. What is the reality now, Amor?
Okay, before I answer that question, very good question, allow me to state one thing na I think even Attorney Kapunan might find interesting. We have several times used the word disclosure. My God, no? Usually, ang disclosure ginagamit lamang sa publicly listed companies. Ngayon, nire-require na natin things like transparency, governance, disclosure sa mga endorsers. So something to think about. Going back to what Cito said, how do we engage endorsers? Are they as clear-cut as they used to be? Grabe ka naman, Cito. Hindi naman olden days. That's not true. Actually, the shift has just been very recent with the advent of social media. Maybe 15 years or so. I'll tell you. Ngayon, hindi na dumadaan lamang sa mga talent manager. I work with some of the best talent managers in the industry. And sometimes they tell me, selyado na ang negosasyon bago bumagsak sa kanila. In other words, a lot of the companies and businesses, they leverage off on relationships, right? They pre-negotiate terms and deals. No? So based on how I studied this particular case, and like I said, full disclosure, based on what I've studied in available media online, ang sinasabi dito ay hindi ito daw matter of endorsement kasi daw matagal nang magkakaibigan, there are pre-existing relationships prior to this supposed endorsement. Meaning, best man sa kasal, magkakaklase sa grade school, they set up other businesses other than this. So, kung totoo man yan, hindi ko alam kung totoo yan, I have no way of verifying it in the spirit of disclosure, then it has to be assessed based on that premise. Ano ba yung nature ng relationship when the representation was made? No? So, hindi na ganun, sir. Hindi na nga dumadaan sa ahensya. Wala na. Sometimes, done deal na. Ako, may ahensya din. Pag sinabi sa amin, tapos na yung negotiation.
Ayun. But as a PR practitioner, should that be the case? Because I have seen that, Amor, and Attorney Kapunan, I have seen that a lot. I will ask, ba't yung kinuha yan? Pamangkin ni ano eh. Inalok ni ano. Or it's always relational. And I said, guys, you have to think of what your product is, what your directions are. You do not just because it was conveniently arranged by someone. So, Amor, so what?
Tama. And that's what makes you Cito Beltran, right? Unfortunately, and I believe that, right? Proper due diligence have to be taken into consideration. We need to make sure that there's an alignment in values to the brand and also to the endorser. That's the responsible thing to do. Now, paano ang scenario kung halimbawa done deal na yan, kamag-anak ni ganito, kamag-anak ni ganon, then sometimes there are situations when you have to make sure that we have to retrofit, right? Or find a way to align the personality of the pre-arranged endorser to that of the brand. So gagawa natin ng programa para hindi incongruous, para hindi lie. Kailangan aligned talaga. Kaya lang, well, that's what separates Cito Beltran from all the other practitioners, right? So
Anyway.
I wish there was that gentlemanly rule that was employed.
Well,
Wala.
unfortunately, that is so true. But Attorney Kapunan, what about regarding, buyer beware? Kasi sabi mo nga kanina, everything is so pre-packaged, so read, fast, drive-through, etc. And then we're no longer using our brains.
Well, buyer beware nga is a very old principle of law. No? It's called caveat emptor. Alam mo, timely itong topic na to, no? Because I was an induction speaker in an association formed way back called the Out of Home Advertising Association. No? Ngayon, ang advertising ngayon, hindi na nga TV, hindi radyo. It is already out of home. Because most of us are out of our homes. And most of us, in fact, nakakaaliw because this is the only group I know that is happy now that there is so much traffic. Because sabi nila, nako, ang saya-saya namin, ang dami ng traffic ngayon because captive audience. I mean, literally captive audience. Kasi merong captive audience na figuratively, no? Kagaya ng you target the OFW market kasi sila yung liquid, sila yung may pera at sila yung gullible. Yan ang nangyari dito sa kaso ni Fuel Flex, no? Because most of them were OFWs, nakikita si Lucky sa Filipino channel, kumagat. Now, out of home advertising, napakabigat niyan because that is you are in a traffic, you're sitting in your car or nasa bus ka. Naghihintay ka ng traffic light, no?
Oh.
Makikita mo malaking billboard. So captive audience ka, no? And that precisely makes the out of home advertisers very, very careful about self-regulation. Kasi, huwag naman let us not shift the burden to the unsuspecting public. Wala namang opportunity yan to discern and to investigate, etc. Especially kung yung level of education nila hindi ganun katindi, kagaya ng mga ordinary businessman, no? So that association says, self-regulate tayo. We are about 150 advertisers, out-of-home advertising companies. Let us self-regulate. So, kailangan rin ng code of ethics. That's number one, no? Self-regulation. And number two, asan ang gobyerno dito? Saan ang DTI dyan? Saan ang, there are government agencies that should monitor or that should have the interest of the public at heart. Hindi lang presyo ng sardinas, hindi lang presyo ng onions, no? Also filtering what is out there in the public. Truth in Information Act. So
yeah, I just before I forget, medyo nagiging malimutin na ako eh. Yan ang disclosure. Okay. But Attorney Kapunan, in such situations, regardless of what the issue, what the case is, in such situations, are the endorser and the company equally legally liable, responsible? Where do you cut the line? Because marami akong kilala, they become endorser because they want to see their face on the billboard. They want to see their face on TV. And of course, they want to make a quick buck, but without realizing the repercussions until what's going on has happened.
yeah, generally, pag mga large scale, no? Kasi kanya tinatawag na large scale, ang daming involved dyan. So, those who are perpetrators of this large scale scam, and I'm not only talking about celebrity case of Lucky, generally they are all solidarily liable, no? And the rule of law is, Kasi may participation yan. May nag-secure ng talent, may gumawa ng ad, may nag-endorse mismo. So, where does one's liability end and where does the other's liability? So, conspiracy ang tawag dyan. Where, under the principle of conspiracy, the act of one is the act of all. So, lahat yan kinakasuhan. Ngayon, it's just a matter of defense. Nasabihin mo na, teka, victim rin ako, rinoko rin ako. Ang sinabi sa akin, okay yung produkto na to. Yung pala, merong mga chemicals na masama sa tao, mga ganyan. Or, So, the short answer to your question is yes, everybody's liable until and unless you are able to present evidence that you are not part of that criminal intent. Incidentally, there is no crime if there is no criminal intent. Okay? And there is no criminal if there is no criminal intent. But it's not only intent, it can be negligence.
Kasi hindi ba merong reckless imprudence resulting in damage to property or loss of life.
Correct. Kasi yung criminal intent, talagang in-intention mo na mag-invest. Kanya sinabi, one example, merong mag-invest kayo dito kasi in 4 months, meron kang 80 to 100% dividendo. Pag inisip mo yun, company nag-a-assure ng dividendo, ano to? Scam, hindi ba? 1 plus 1 is not 10. 1 plus 1 equals 2. So, may criminal intent yun. Ngayon, iba yung sasabihin mo, ito, mag-invest ka dito. Magandang opportunity to. Tignan natin kung papasa to sa merkado. No? Iba yon. Now, negligence would be, hindi mo disclose na hindi pala ikaw may-ari nito, no? na foreign company palang may-ari nitong company na sinasabi mo. So, that is failure to disclose. It could be negligence, it could be fraud.
Okay. Amor, so what happens in this situation? Okay, there are no set rules. There's no existing law to regulate endorsements, etc. How does this impact public relations, image, etc.? Kasi yan yung field mo.
So, 2 quick things, no? I want to talk about yung question mo in relation to yung caveat emptor kanina. Caveat emptor is, di ba, buyer beware. In an era of digital and technology, there is such a concept as zero trust architecture. Anong ibig sabihin ng zero trust? Even if I don't know you or know your background, I should be able to trust you, right? So, ano yan? Principle yan ng cybersecurity. Kahit hindi ko kayo kilala, dapat mapagkatiwalaan ko na ang platform mo ay mapapagkatiwalaan. So, how does that apply now? So, the expectations that we have of tech platforms like Facebook, Lazada, Amazon, Shopee, now is being transferred to its yung mga endorsers, yung mga galamay niyan, tulad ng endorsers. So, if you are now a creature who benefits from social media and digital, like all of these influencers, no, na ang hilig, let's admit it, they monetize based on their social media popularity. Di ba kaya nga tinatawag sila na patola, right? Mahilig silang pumatol sa mga bashers. Because the more that they make patol, the more they make money. Now,
I didn't know that.
Yun. The more, I swear, I wish I were making it up. The more that you make money on social media, then you must be beholden to these, unfortunately, unspoken rules that are evolving in social media. Zero trust. You have to disclose, you have to say it. Now, anong implication yan, right? Overall, when you go, if you are a celebrity and you go into a business deal, it's not as clear-cut anymore as an endorser. Sometimes nga, the arrangement that you have, you are delivered as a co-owner. Diba? It's more prestigious. I own a brand. I own several skincare brands. Or, I'm chairman of the board of a fuel company. Wow, how prestigious is that, right? When before you even sign to an agreement, I'm a shareholder. Please, consult a lawyer like Attorney Kapunan and understand what your rights are. right? Or even not your rights or your responsibilities, because it's not, you cannot conveniently toggle between I'm an endorser one moment when it's convenient, or I'm an owner, because you cannot just shift from those personas. No? So that's on the celebrity side. And on the,
That's the pitfall kasi yung mga celebrity and mga endorsers na ganyan, mga kaibigan, kung saan lalapad yung papel nila or saan sila guwagwapo, they utilize that. But sometimes utilizing a particular title or taking up a particular position can eventually get you into hot water. Yung sabi nyo ang dalawa na
hindi lang dahil sexy na matawag na co-founder or sexy na matawag na chairman of the board or owner, right?
Ang sabi sa Bible, pride comes before the fall. Yun.
That's correct.
Okay. So anyway, go ahead, Amor. You were on your second point.
No, that's actually, yun nga, how is actually digital really changing not just business models but also the public's expectation of? Siguro sasabihin nga ng nakararami na sabi rin ni Attorney Kapunan, dapat mag-aral tayo because aralin natin yung mga tinatawag na investments na ito bago tayo maglabas ng pera. Unfortunately, because of this mindset that surrounding digital platform, social media, meron na kasing nasiseed sa atin na tinatawag na zero trust architecture. Rightly or wrongly, ang expectation ng publiko, if you go out in public, whether you're a platform, a technological platform, a company, you leverage on social media, dapat ang alam nila mapapagkatiwalaan kita. Yun ang tinatawag in a way to make zero trust simplistic, overly simplistic. At pag niloko mo ako or you do not disclose or kahit hindi deliberate yung non-disclosure, they'll skewer you on social media. So it can be a two-edged sword. You can make money out of it.
We're quickly running out of time. I think we have to do a part 2 of this. But before we run out of town, let me ask Attorney Kapunan. Attorney, what about your recommendations? Because you are an expert. You are in the battlefield, so to speak. And there are so many lawmakers who are, I'm sorry, they're clueless. Young generation, not enough experience, not enough exposure. What would be your suggestions, recommendations on this emerging disaster, if I may label it as such?
Well, first of all, like politicians, endorsers are considered public figures. And the operative word there is public. And therefore, if you are a public figure, whether you're a politician, endorser, artista, comes with it public trust. And therefore, accountability. Hindi ba? Sabi nga nila, a public position is a public trust. Carry that to advertising. The public trusts you because you are now a public figure. So the reminder to all our public officials and personalities is that there is a public out there who should be beneficiaries of our wisdom, of our truthfulness, of our opinions. Beneficiaries and not victims. Hindi ba? Wag naman natin i-victimize yung publiko na yan that gave us our star, our celebrity status. Kanya ka politiko na popular kasi binoto ka, rightly or wrongly, nabenta mo yung sarili mo sa publiko. And therefore, there comes the corresponding obligation to merit that public trust. Ganon din sa advertising, ganon din sa celebrity, of whatever form, whether digital, print, whether opinion, whether endorsement of a product. Know that there is a public out there that is hanging on to your every word. And therefore, my advice is magpakatotoo kayo. Be honest, respect the integrity of the spoken and the written word, because you have an unsuspecting public that loves you and trusts you.
Okay. Amor, on your side, what would you like to impart, or at least tell our viewers and also those who see themselves as endorsers?
Yes. What are influencers? Basically, people who think that they are popular because they were on the verge of being popular. How I approach a crisis is always in a holistic manner, not just on the PR or media side. Quick things to both the endorser and the companies. Full disclosure. You have to fully disclose and be transparent the nature of your relationship with an endorser. Are they an owner? Are they board? Do they have shares? Whatever. Did they co-create the product? On the part of the government, I would like to humbly request that they shouldn't just regulate. In other words, they shouldn't just be there when the proverbial S hits the fan, right? Instead, I would like to request that more opportunities for legitimate investments be encouraged, right? Na-realize ko, ang dami palang gusto mag-invest sa mga ganitong klaseng bagay, even down to things like crypto. Pero bakit walang masyado nag-i-invest sa capital markets? Oh, for another episode. Last but not the least, on the part of the public, before you hit a like or do a share, require disclosure and transparency. Magtanong ka. Huwag nyo lang itanong kung magkano or ginamit mo ba yan, itanong mo anong relasyon mo ng kumpanya sa endorser. And on that note, salamat po, Attorney and Cito.
Okay, well, thank you very much, ladies. And I will apologize in advance for the next time I wake you up at 6 in the morning to come on the show.
Get a home fast, but you know we love you.
Okay, thank you very much. God bless both of you. And please take this holiday as your personal time out and spoil yourselves at the spa. Attorney Kapunan, Amor, have a good day. God bless you. Okay.
Bye, Amor. Bye, Cito.
Bye,
Take
Attorney.
care.
Bye, Cito.
Okay, now let's close our week with this exhortation from the book of Psalms, chapter 1, verse 2. And it is very timely. Blessed is the man that does not walk in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and his law does he meditate day and night. Psalm chapter 1, verses 1 and 2. I'm Cito Beltran, thanking you for joining us. And please, as the saying goes, buyer beware, and enjoy the rest of the day. God bless all of you. Please keep it here on One News.